Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Hands-On SAP Dev again with me, DJ Q Macro. Welcome one and all. I can see there's lots of lovely chat. So Lawrence, good morning to you in Amersfoort. Nothing beats a good cup of coffee and DJ Adams in the background. That's where I belong during work. Fantastic. And welcome to Sunny. Today, Sunny says, today Sunny woke up and thought, I've got to attend the live session to clear my doubts. So good afternoon, everyone from Mumbai, India. Welcome to you in Mumbai, India. And buongiorno a tutti. Here's to capire. It's from, I don't know why I do it in a stupid accent. I'm sorry. Buongiorno a tutti. Kazatis, I'm just going to call you Kaz. Kazatis Soros 64. Ajay, good afternoon. It is very hot in summer here in Bangalore, there in Bangalore. Well, just to balance it out, Ajay, it's horrible here. I went for a little run this morning just before the setup of the live stream, and I had sideways rain again, strong gusty winds. It was just horrible. Filthy weather. Gaurav, good morning to you in Pune, and Visas, one of our all-time regulars. Visas, welcome to you in Bangkok, Thailand, and Moin to another regular. Helmut in Brunswick, Braunschweig, Germany. So Sunny's asking in there already with a question. Fantastic. I'll just say the hellos first. Remind me if I miss your question, Sunny, remind me and put it in again in the chat because I might miss it. Adeline, good morning to you in Toulouse, en France. En France, did we say? Yeah. And Chiara, buongiorno to you and Volha. Good morning to you and Pazija. Good morning to you in Munich and Ian S. Good morning from sunny Guildford. Thanks Ian for rubbing it in, sunny Guildford. Yes. So Ian is a fellow runner. I mean, I don't compare myself to Ian because he's about a million times better. But, we're both on Strava, so it sort of counts for something, right? Henrik, good morning. Back to composites. Brilliant way to end the week. I agree, Henrik. I agree. Zahid, good morning to you. Senzo, good morning from Eswatini. Where is Eswatini? I don't know. Where is it? Zahid, tell us where you are. Where, give us a slightly larger sort of geographical idea. Eswatini sounds an amazing place. Karsten Schlegel, good morning. And also thank you. I'm going to give you a special thank you in a minute. Anyway, oui, en France. There we go. My schoolboy French is sort of coming out. I won't say any schoolboy French now, as in, what I learned at school. Nikhil, hello to you in Melbourne. Oh my goodness me, I hope you got a glass of wine or something. And Matthias, another regular, welcome to you in Mescada. And Valerio, good morning from Rome. Buongiorno to you in Roma. And Thomas Young, hello from the Paris Code Jam. Hello, Paris Code Jam. Amazing. Zahid. Oh, Zahid, you're from Solihull. Fantastic. And Senzo, oh yeah, sorry, it was Senzo that you said you were from Eswatini. Where is Eswatini? That is what we're going to find out today. Amazing. Raphael, good morning to you in Poland. Oh my goodness me. See, I've already forgotten the question. It was to do with CAP, a high level question. I can't remember. So please ask the question again, because I've got this little screen and I'm scrolling up like crazy. So let me actually switch to the main scene so we can get going. Daniel Schlachter in the house. Daniel, I've got a little reminder to tell people about the co-talk with you, and then we can get going with part 2 of compositions. Antonio, to you in Madrid. Good morning to you in Madrid. Amazing, amazing. Well, thank you all for joining. It's amazing. And hello, Paris Code Jam. I guess you're going to get on with your, is it rap and cap you're doing today? Have a great time with the 2 amazing heroes of mine, Rich and Tom. Nikhil, I do have a glass of wine. Thank you. Oh, awesome. Well done, Nikhil. 10 points, 100 points to you. And woohoo, Tom Young's here too. Yes, exactly. So, as you can see, previous episode last week, had some brilliant comments, so thank you all for always adding your comments and everything. So Visa says, I thought we were looking at the DJ Tortoise, and the preview as feature is amazing. That's what Daniel pointed out a few weeks ago, but we should maybe do a little bit more of the CDS compile. So Visas remind me, there is probably an opportunity today when we start to look or continue to look at compositions where we can do the CDS compile rather than use the preview feature, just so we can sort of get that under our fingertips. Thank you for that comment. That was a brilliant comment. Sudarshan, good morning to you in Waldorf. Are you in the mothership, or are you just generally in the Waldorf town area? Let us know. Oh, sorry. Senzo says Eswatini is just next to South Africa. Amazing. I am so ignorant. I apologise for not knowing where that was. And good morning to Donny Darko, Donny with 1 N, from South Germany. Amazing, amazing, amazing. So many people. It's just wonderful to have you all. Thank you. So, Matthias, lovely comment from Matthias. And, oh, yes, so, Nightfire777. I'm not sure who that is in the chat. Maybe they're here, maybe they're not. I'm trying this sort of, as I mentioned in my comment, my reply to Nightfire, I've gone for, what is it called? Solarized light. I'm not really dark mode in anything other than terminal, right? Just does my head in. It's like, makes my eyes hurt. So I've moved away from a pure white sort of light background to a more solarized thing. So let me know, what was your name again? Let me know, Nightfire777, if this is a little better. And also I've changed the theme of Chrome. So, all right, it's just the actual Chrome of Chrome that's changed color, but maybe that'll help a little bit. And Tech Wombat, are you on the call? Are you on the call, Tech Wombat? Yes, I did actually push a change to the repo cap B2B, where I added something to do with the prompt. I wrote a blog post, so I'll talk about the blog post in a minute, and I added something here and it broke the build. So thank you, Tech Wombat, for pointing that out. I've fixed it now. As you can see here, the history, where is it? Proper appending of and escaping of, yeah, there you go. So I've just changed that. So it was in there and I've now put it in there, and there's a little bit of double escaping. Amazing. So thank you, Tech Wombat, and also thank you, Karsten, for opening my eyes to the fact that you can actually configure the Vim extension in VS Code. So amazing answer, or amazing sort of help from Karsten. So thank you, Karsten. And Thantam, good morning to you. Goog morning. I like it. Goog morning. So brilliant. So I've actually now got, I think, in here, if I go up to here and say, for example, let's get rid of that space there and add another thing there. Now I can say space F, and it's formatted. There we go. Get rid of that line there. It's not going to that. So there we go. Amazing. So what time is it? 8:08. I've got 808 State. Who remembers 808 State? Ian Stubbings, maybe? 808 State. Classic from the 80s or the 90s? Brilliant. They used to, their name was from a Roland, was it a drum machine? The 303 was the 303, the CR303 was the baseline synthesizer, and there was a drum machine. Was it the 808? I can't remember. Anyway, 808 State. DJ, concentrate. Right, so there's the comments. And, oh yes, so Ajay says, as I'm putting links in to share with you, I'm maintaining links here. I always put them in the comments to the corresponding SAP community. I remember 808 State, yes, brilliant. To the community entry for this particular episode, and the comments are all here. And now, if you can get to them straight away, somebody please go and test. So go to the description of the video you're looking at right now, the live stream, and in the description there, blah 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 blah, there's a link. This is the link. Stop playing. This is the link to this thing here that I'm maintaining now. So any new URLs that I put in, I'll put in the comments here. I can maintain the comments here, etc., and save them. And then you've got, okay. So we've got this week's SAP Developer News. I won't need to go into that right now. And we've got 4 code jams running today. Amazing. So code jams, there we go. Code jam event. We got a code jam. I think that's Vitaly in Bucharest. And we've got Rich and Tom in France. They've just said hello on the chat. We've got, I think that's Andre Fisher doing an awesome job delivering ABAP Cloud code jams as well for us. And we've also got Nico in Utrecht in the Netherlands delivering a code jam today. 4 code jams. Amazing. Oh yes, so and we got a code talk all about the CAP plugin concept. There's Daniel Schlachter's in the house, and there's me. Oh, what an idiot. So we talked about the CAP plugin concept. Amazing. So check out this 11-minute little video, or it is a podcast version as well. Really interesting about what the CAP plugin concept is and how it works and how awesome it is and everything. So check that out. One more thing maybe. Yeah, what we're going to be talking about today is, let me share that in the chat as well. It's in this thing here, but because you might want to refer to this, that's probably the most important URL of the day. Laurence, nice, will participate in the code jam this afternoon. Amazing. That's amazing. So yeah, say hi to Nico from us, please. Right. So I think that's pretty much it, isn't it, in terms of announcements and everything. So I'll leave that. I'll leave my maintenance. I'm editing that comment right now, so I can add links to there. What's that? I don't need that anymore. So let's go. So last week we ended on a salam, Mustafa, salam, and welcome to you as well. So we left last week on a oh my goodness, what is that? What is going on? Type thing. When we were looking at something related to this, composition targets are auto-exposed in service interfaces. It was quite rushed at the end because I wanted to get it in just to put into brains. So let's have a look at what this is all about, right? So this is where we left off. This is, the code. Oh, let me just, what did I do there? Let's undo that. What did I do? I can't remember what I changed. Anyway, I'll just undo it. Discard changes. There we go. Fine. So what we did was we had a look behind the curtain at what is generated from a core schema notation, the sort of machine readable version of the CDS model we see in front of us, as in the combination of this CDS file, which is where we've got a service defined, pulling in or making projections on the entities that are defined in our schema.cds. Okay, so this all comes together, and we did as Daniel pointed out before, we did use the preview feature, preview as YAML. Let's get rid, I don't need that anymore. And we saw that. And what we did see as well is the fact that our bookshop order items, because we're because the order items is the target of a composition, right? Let's just read the text again. Composition targets, that's keyword target right here, are auto-exposed. We go auto-exposed. So that's why in the actual machine readable version of what we are defining in our sort of overall CDS model there, we get this CDS auto-exposed true. Now, in order to get this to go back to Visa's comment, hey, hello, mass to you in Sri Lanka, and welcome everybody. It's just so amazing to see you all in the chat, and I love the way that you say hello in the chat and tell me where you're from and everything and what you're doing. Got a glass of wine, got a coffee, whatever. Really cool. So instead of doing this, let's figure out, or let's just do it manually as well, because we can, right? So in fact, yeah, we'll do it in here. CDS compile -- help. Okay. Oh, tell you what, that's quite flat there. So what I'll do is I'll bring in that over there, and there we go. Hands on SAP Dev. Let's make that a bit smaller. Let's put my head at the bottom. Right. So let's go into cap B2B. There. So we can now say CDS compile -- help. Let's have a look at the help first of all. Make that a bit bigger there for now. And there we go. I'm just trying to sort of get the right level of information there. Now, CDS compile compiles the specific models of CSN format. And what we can see here is that we have different target formats. Okay, so currently it will support JSON and YAML versions of CSN, season. If you want to look at what it's going to look like from an OData perspective, that's what this entity data model type thing is all about. If you want to look at how it will sort of appear at the persistence layer in terms of DDL, data definition language, you know, different flavors out for HANA and for sort of other SQL flavors, then that's what that's for, etc., etc., etc. So what we can do is we say CDS compile -- YAML. Okay, that's what's going on behind the scenes in this auto preview in VS Code. And what do we want to compile? Well, let's just press enter. Right, it'll say you must specify a model to compile. So what do we want to compile? We want to compile. Let's compile just the schema, db schema.cds. Right, when we get. Let's just see if we can actually language YAML. Let's use BAT to maybe, what's the word? Color highlight it. Yeah, there we go. Also, we want the plain. We don't know the line numbers or anything like that. Plain. There we go. Fine. So BAT is basically cat with wings. In fact, that's exactly what it is. BAT, cat with wings. BAT. There we go. A cat clone with wings. Cat is just, you know, concatenate and everything. So there we go. Oh, let's add that to the thing there. BAT there, perfect, and I'll save that in a minute. Okay, so we can see here, where is it? We don't have any CDS auto exposed that we saw here. Why? Because we're only at the moment here compiling the schema.cds, just the entity definitions. There's nothing else in there. It's inside a namespace. That's where we get this org.q macro prefix. But that's it. So what happens if we compile main.cds, which sort of pulls in imports using that stuff, and then oh, actually we should do. Hold on, we should get a what's going on here? Let's say org.q macro orders, org.q macro order items. Yeah, because we're not at the stage where we're exposing things. So we're going to be exposing things when we define a service. So if we now say here serve main.cds, we get a little bit more. Look, you can see. Let's do that again. Sorry, CDS. What do I don't want a page. Let's do that again. There. What's going on? Oh, what? Let's just get rid of that. There we go. Okay, we'll look at it in non-color for now. I don't know what's going on with the paging. But here we see the CDS auto exposed, right? So that's where this information comes from, or that rather that's how you can generate and have a look at the YAML flavor of CSN or the JSON flavor of CSN. If I do that and do JSON instead, do JSON. In fact, that's the default anyway, right? So if we say just CDS compile, get rid of that there, and we just get the JSON, right? There we go. Antonio, what app are you using for terminal? I thought you used Warp, but it's not. No, I don't use Warp. I don't really like Warp. It's too modern, too complicated for me. And it means I have to take my hands off the keyboard and put them on the mouse more often than I want, which is never. So no, I'm using iTerm, and I'm using tmux. It's my PD. I'll see if I can remember to put a link in the thing to do with my terminal setup. But basically, it's just tmux, and that's it. And bash. There we go. There's tmux. You can do panes and everything. Yep, perfect. So anyway, so that is where we get. Let's just do that to YAML again, and let's put it into a file. Actually, let's put in main.yaml. Vi main.yaml. There we go. So we can see there. There we go. Look, there we go. Order items auto exposed. Right, 819. Auto exposed is true, and that means basically. Let's put that back there again. That means basically that. Let's put that there and put that in there. That we can say if we start up the server cap CDS watch, we can 4004. Observe two things. Okay, come on, there we go. 4004, localhost 4004. Bong. We observe two things. The first thing we observe is that order items is not there because we've also not exposed it there, right? So we don't see it there either. However, just because we've not defined or exposed the order items entity in the service definition, we still get it here in the metadata, because in order to fulfill this composition relationship, the service has got to know about it from an EDMX perspective. That's why we can see the order items, because it is a target of this navigation property. Okay, so that's part of what the auto expose is doing, and that also means that bookshops, if we go to bookshop orders, we can see the orders, but it also means we can also follow that navigation property to go and ask for the items, right? So, oh, thank you, Carsten. Thank you for answering. iTerm, TMUX, I did used to use Kitty. Kitty is pretty cool as well as a terminal emulator, but, you know, iTerm's okay as well. It's fine. So there we go. But what we can't do, and what the automatic auto-exposing of targets of compositions will give you, is we can't say order items. And that's where we ended up last week. Bookshop order items is not explicitly exposed as part of the service. So if we go back here, let's put that back there. Let's go back up here and go to certs there and say CDS auto expose without the D, because the auto exposed is this sort of implicit cap cap machine generated annotation, right? Because auto exposure of targets is a thing. I can still say explicitly, I want to auto expose order items. So if I save that, everything will restart. But now I can go across to here, and if I press refresh, I can now go directly to order items, right? Not only that, but also if I press refresh there, we get auto order items in the service endpoint entity set list, because we've sort of forced it to be exposed. We've explicitly, as a human, to say, expose this, right? There we go. So what can, well, let's switch back here now. Let's switch back to here. No, there. Let's get rid of that again. Let's save that and let's restart again. Let's go back there, refresh. Let's go back there, and we're back to where we were. So we're now just having the benefit, the beauty of the automatic auto exposure of the composition targets. Auto exposure is important because for compositions, because we also want to be able to do deep inserts, right? So if you're creating a document, as Henrik and other people said last week, the obvious use case for compositions is the classic document structure, header and items, header and positions, right? So why don't we jump to this now, deep insert, and just do a simple deep insert. We could dig into, put some patches and everything, so to do updates as well, or upserts or whatever. But let's just do a simple thing for now. Oh, so Nikhil says, and also the lovely person who asked the question straight away in the greetings this morning, ask it again. It's scrolled up. In fact, no, I can scroll my finger. It's a touch screen, isn't it? Wait a minute. How unique is CAP compared to other frameworks? Some of them I have listed below. For example, the uniqueness of event meshes is decoupling. CAP is unique in that it is probably the most, in my personal opinion, the most enterprise-ready, deliberately and wonderfully agnostic framework in terms of persistence layers, in terms of languages, all right, Node.js and Java. That you could ever ask for, right? And it embraces the idea of declarative, do I mean? What would you like to compare it with? You can't really compare it with Event Mesh. That's not really a framework, a programming framework. So let me know how else you might want to talk about that and think about that. But also, Nikhil says, would this have the same effect if you remove the annotation from the model and added the order items entity in the service? Yes, it would, basically. Yes, it would. That's a great question. So Zahid says, if we have two services based on our schema, will CDS auto expose in both services? Yes, because the CDS auto expose is on the at the schema level, let's call it, at the persistence layer, where we've defined our entities and the relationships between those entities. Okay. So yes, exactly. If we had more time, we'd try those two things out. Nikhil and Zahid asked brilliant questions, but I'm just going to give you the answers rather than sort of demonstrate it. Maybe you can play with it yourself, because I want to get through and get to moving away from an explicit entity definition and using this composition of aspects to have a sort of an inline composition. But before we do that, let's get rid of that for now. Yeah. So what we'll do is we'll do one of these. We'll try a deep insert. What does a deep insert mean? Basically, we want to be able to create a document. We want to be able to create an order. So let's bring that up and let's define. Oh, by the way, in our little document here, I wrote about I wrote 3 or 4 blog posts very recently, qmacro.org, and in one all about CAP and CDS and previewing stuff as well, and SQLite and Cloud Foundry, non-production and everything. And what was the thing I'm talking about? I've completely lost my track now. What am I talking about? I can't remember. I've suddenly lost it. Anyway, I can't remember. What? DJ, what's going on? Anyway, all right. So what we'll do is we will create. Oh yes, there we go. We'll create. What's it called? Using services in CAP. Oh, here we go. There. Avoid design time CAP server restarts when maintaining local data files. There's another one as well. Amazing. I forgot about that one. Let's put that in as well. There. There. Let's just put that in there. What's the title of that? Avoid. There. I'm going to use this technique right now. So, oh God, I hate that. There we go. Right. Come on. God, this editor. What is going on? Right. That was painful. There we go. Right. So I don't want the server to restart when I start maintaining data files. So I'm going to put them in a directory called _out, which is explicitly one of the things that is not looked at by the where is it? By the regex that the CDS watch uses to look out for files that are changed. Okay, so _out. In terms of client perspective, what is unique? That's a really good question. What do you think? I'm going to turn the question around. What do you think is unique? What are the features of CAP? What features of CAP can you not find anywhere else? Put in the chat what people think. Why does everybody think CAP is unique? Is it unique? I think that's a great question. But yeah, maybe it's a little bit too wide for me to be able to answer in the time available. 8:27. Here we go. Right, DJ, focus. So what we want to do is we want to create a structure, a basic structure for a deep insert, right? Remember that in our data files, we have orders where we've got an ID and a comment, and order items where we've got the parent ID, position, and quantity, right? Now, I want to be able to, let's say we want to create a new order, okay? Now, remember that the ID is defined by a CUID aspect, so therefore it's a UUID, and therefore if we don't supply it, one will be generated for us. That's great. But we need to supply other things as well, right? So I'm going to maintain code out data, let's call it order, new order. Oh, talking of music, new order, let's put in like that, order dot YAML. Now, I don't like writing JSON, but so I'll write YAML, you see. And so let's see if there's a comment, new order. And then we've got items. Remember the structure here? Let me put that across here, actually. Put that there. Put in the schema. There's the structure. So items, why don't we say position 1, quantity 10. Is that right? I think that's right. Let's save that. Let's format it actually. Yeah, that's okay. So let's repeat that. There. Let's have 4. 4. 40. Oops. More haste, less speed, DJ. More haste, less speed. 20. There we go. Now, the reason I've done that because it's so easy to create, right? It's so easy to create structures in YAML. You can type in YAML. YAML has its issues as well, but as a human writable format, I think it's pretty cool. And then we can actually go into here and say, let's make that a bit bigger. Let's go into here, and there's our new order, and now we can say YQ dot, a little bit like the identity function in JQ, out. Where is it called? Oh, we're in out already. Data, no, new order dot YAML, and we get JSON. So let's put that into new order dot JSON. So much easier. Look, I mean, otherwise I'd have to sort of do all those punctuations and open curly brackets, close curly brackets, double quotes, colons, and everything. So we've now got a structure. And notice what I'm not supplying. Oh, so Nikhil says, Ian says, new order also same time as 808 state. Yes, I think you're right, absolutely, exactly. And of course, who knows the band that new order was formed from? Amazing, from Macclesfield, not too far away from me. Nikhil says, if we used our own aspects UID and not from SAP CDS, will it still be core computed? Wouldn't we need that annotation if we define our own use? Oh, that's great. What a great question. So Nikhil is sort of pointing out the fact that I'm using this aspect here, remember, just to sort of cut down on the amount of season that's generated so we don't have to look through a load of stuff. I stopped using the using CUID from SAP CDS Common and just defining it here, lines 3 through 5. And Nikhil is saying, if we used our own aspect CUID, which we're doing here, will it still be called computed? Yes, because the fact that I'm using this type here, UUID, right? It's the UUID type part of this that is related to the auto computation, auto generation of the ID. If that's joy division, exactly, a joy division of the thing. So brilliant question, Nikhil. Brilliant question. So we still get that because we're using UUID. So now, let's start CDS Watch. Okay, and then let's also open up another terminal here. And what we'll say is, well, first of all, let's have a look at the curl local host 4004 OData v4 bookshop orders. Let's just have a look at the orders for now. That'll do. Let's do it to silent, and let's format it as well. There we go. Okay, so we got 2 orders. We got first order and second order, AC58, AC5A and 6091. So now what we'll do is we'll say curl, and then we'll use the dash data and point to a file out new order.json. So we'll send the contents of that file, which looks like, where is it? There, new order.json. There, it'll send that. We need to supply the header describing what the content type of the payload is, which is application JSON header. This is normal stuff, content type application JSON, right? And where do we want to send it to? URL. We don't need the dash URL, but let's put it in anyway. URL localhost, lolcat localhost 4004 OData v4 bookshop orders. Now, let's see what happens. Shall we do a verbose as well, maybe, but to see even more what's happening? So, what are we about to do? You're welcome, Nikhil. That's a great question. All these questions are great. So, Sunny, put down what you think is unique about CAP, and then we can that might help the discussion, because I think it's a really good question. Maybe, and I'm going to ask Daniel Schlachter, maybe we should have a sort of a separate ad hoc live stream where we get some people who know a lot more about CAP than I do, as in somebody from the CAP team, to discuss these sorts of questions, more sort of high level philosophical questions about CAP. Do you think that would be a good idea? Let me know in the chat. Let us know in the chat. That's really cool. So what we're doing here is we're going to send this entire, where is it there? This entire JSON structure. And notice as well, I've not supplied, going back to sort of Nikhil's related to Nikhil's question, I've not supplied the ID, the key ID for the orders, nor have I supplied the value for the parent, right? And the parent is this managed association. So for that, there will be, remember, will be at the persistence layer, a parent underscore ID field at the data definition level, right? To have this point back to the parent. I belong to this parent, right? We've not put that in the, where's my head? Oh, it's at the bottom. Okay, Matthias says, thank you. Very good idea. Very good. Thank you. Yeah, I think a philosophical discussion about CAP, I think that would be really cool. Okay, Matthias, remind me next week if I've forgotten, okay? Or anybody. What we're going to do, we might even, 8:35. We might, yeah, okay, let's carry on with this. So items, so I've not got any keys whatsoever or any relationships. We've got an implicit relationship though, in the fact that these objects here are inside this array, and the array is the value of this items, which is here, which is the composition, right? This is the most beautiful thing. So now let's press enter. I might have done something wrong, but let's press enter and see what happens. Ooh, there we go. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Look, we didn't get an error, and we got in response. Let's just, I wonder if we can copy that cat into response.json. Let's paste that in, and then we can do jq response.json. We can see what we got in response, and what we get in response is basically the JSON representation, the default representation of the resource that we've just created with post. Right, we didn't get any errors. So this is exactly what we have supplied here. We've created a new entity in the entity set. And look also what's happened. It's generated, going back to Nikhil's question, well, related to Nikhil's question, it's generated a GUID for us. And therefore it's also used in this parent, there's the parent underscore ID. It's used the GUID to point the children back to its parent. So there's a deep insert, right? As it says here, where deep insert update automatically filling in document structures. Okay, so we've got that. And so in fact, if we go now to localhost, let's put 4004, might be easier. Why does it always remember the bookshop books but not the other things? 4004, go to orders. Oh, what's going on? What? Did we not? Orders, new order. I'm not expecting new order. What have I done wrong there? What have I done wrong? Get bookshops, orders. Let's just have a look here. What is going on? Actually, let's have a look at what happened there. 201 created. Why didn't we get the... What's going on? Am I missing something? Am I missing something? Let's have a drink of water and think about this. 4004. That's correct. Am I at the right bookshop orders? Second order, first order. Did it? Oh, it restart. Did it restart? Oh, of course. Who spotted what happened? Who spotted what happened? And this is the exact. This is the exact. Oh, I almost broke my glasses. This is the exact reason why I ended up writing this blog post, or writing a blog post about this thing right? Is avoid design time cap server restarts when maintaining local data files. What did I just do? I created this response.json. And of course, what does the cap server do when it's in watch mode? It'll restart. And why? And what's happening when it's restarting? It's going to reload because we're using by default the development profile. We're using. I've seen a comment from Sonny. I'll read it in a minute, Sonny. Just put in the chat what you think has just happened, and I'll explain slowly, right? But look here, when we created this response.json, it restarted. Look, after the post, which was the thing, it restarted, which of course means as well, because we're running, where's the package.json? Remember the package.json? Our default mode for persistence is in memory. So what happens when it restarts? It is in, Raphael said exactly, it's in local. So it's locally in memory only. So when it restarts, it just loads the orders from here and here. And we've lost, we've lost the thing we've just added to the persistence layer. As in, let's call it the unpersistence layer because it's just SQLite in memory. And of course, when the server restarts, it's gone. So let's do that again. But this time, let's not create this response.json. So there we go. So let's do that. Restart. There we go. So there's the thing there. So that's super important, right? This is exactly why I'm now creating files in _out, because _out is one of the places that the restart mechanism doesn't look for changes. Right? Does that make sense? So there we go. There's the two things there. Now I'm going to go back up here, and there we go. Let's do that again. This time, let's pipe it into JQ directly so we can sort of see a nice, pretty output. And now let's go across and refresh. There we go. We get the new order, right? We get the new order. Memory not in SQL. Raphael, exactly, Raphael. 1,000 points to Raphael. Does that make sense? But also, let's have a look. Orders expand equals items. There it is. Look, new order 1, 10, 20, 30, 40. So with a relationship between a header and an item idea expressed via a composition is just such a beautiful thing. We can do deep inserts and updates as well, right? Let's just do an update, because why not, right? If we were to say vi underscore, no, sorry, code, oh, there it is there. Let's do that. I'm just so used to working in not in VS Code. If I were to say, let's just add up here items. Let's say we don't want, we only want one item, right? Let's go for that one, right? Let's go for there. Let's have 1,000. Okay. Now let's bring that up again. The ID of our thing here is there, right? So we need that. Let's bring that up. There, verbose data. We're going to send this data in. Okay, and we're going to say header URL, but we also now need to specify, because we're changing a specific entity, so we need to describe that in the URL. Okay, so we're doing an OData operation, but instead we'll say X patch. Let's modify that. Let's see what happens, shall we? 200, okay, ID, comment, items. So now if we go back to here, no, there, where is it? There, and press refresh, we've patched that order by saying, actually, it's just one item, for example. And you can imagine how you would need, therefore, to use patch, for example, and of course, put is also in that same sort of area, replacing the entire thing, right? In fact, let's use put. Let's use put. Let's see the difference between patch and put. I didn't change. Oh, we did actually. Hold on a second. Let's just say here. Yeah, let's follow this up. 843. Yeah. So Visa, yeah. Wow. So Visa says this default profile issue is very interesting. And Nikhil says if we were to expose the order items now and do a post against that entity, will it error out or will still generate the parent? It won't generate the parent. No, if we do a post directly and use that GUID in the order item record, we could do it manually. So yeah, we can still do it manually, but it's not a good idea, right? It's not a good idea. So let me go back to Sonny's. It's 8:44 already, so we've got 15 minutes. So we might extend it to next week. But I'm hoping this is okay, because we want to understand not only compositions from a CDS perspective, from a core data and services perspective, but we also want to understand it from a practical perspective. How do we use it, and what does that actually mean for us as consumers of the service that is defined using compose, for example? So with put, post, and patch, for example. So we've done a post to create something new. And in fact, let's restart here. So we're starting from scratch again with just those two orders, right? And by the way, so let me see what Sonny says. In my opinion, if a company uses SAP for their enterprise, they have the option to use CAP for building applications that provide ERP features. I may be wrong, as I did not have full hands on. That's exactly right. No, you're exactly right, Sonny. So if a company uses SAP for their enterprise, they have the option to use CAP for building applications. Exactly. They have two options. Well, they have many options, but they have two main options. Let's use the word main. They can use RAP, the RESTful Application Programming Model, and that's for if you want to use ABAP on the ABAP stack, or if that's not appropriate for whatever reason, then the other of the two main recommended approaches, pathways, journeys, is CAP, the Cloud Application Programming, which is what we're talking about. And of course, then you have the possibility of doing that from a language perspective, either with Node.js, JavaScript, or with Java. Okay. Of course, you can still, because BTP, what's it called, the Business Technology Platform, has multiple environments. For example, Cloud Foundry and Kubernetes in the form of Kima, wrapped Kubernetes. You can still bring your own, right? You can still bring whatever language you want and run whatever you want. Okay, but recommended and also supported and enterprise ready, CAP and RAP. What's not to like? And that's why, of course, there's a CAP and RAP code jam going on in Paris, France right now, as opposed to Paris, Texas, I suppose. So Douglas, welcome. Servus, Douglas, long-time friend of the Hands on SAP Dev show. Welcome back, Douglas. Yes, of course, not wanting to post against a contained entity. Yes, Nikhil, curiosity is the most important thing that we should all have in these sessions and generally, right, as developers. That's the best skill. Is it a skill? That's the best characteristic to keep strong in one's self. Curiosity, right? This is why we're finding all these things out. So let's be curious and dig in a little bit more to the difference between, shall we? Put it in the chat whether we shall. The difference between, from an HTTP verb perspective, post, put, and patch. Okay, it's slightly confusing that they all begin with P in my brain. But post is where you want to create a new resource, effectively, semantically. Okay, so post is used to convey the OData operation create. Okay, Sonny, you're welcome. You're welcome, Sonny. And that's what we did before. So now we're back to the two basic orders that we've got in the CSV files, second order and first order. In fact, going back to no, who said that? I can't remember who said it. Sonny, Raphael. Anyway. Oh, yes, it was, wow, this default profile issue is very interesting. Weezers. So, yes, we could switch to the profile that uses the SQLite database. And in fact, we will do when we start wanting to explore cascaded delete to sort of see with our own eyes actually whether the children order items are deleted when we delete an order, right? But we might, I can't believe we might have to go to a third episode to continue with compositions because it's such an important thing. But it also, yeah, DJ, stop talking. Right, so we've got here, let me make that a bit smaller so you can see the sort of structure, the first order and the second order, okay? Now let's go back here and let's run this again, okay? So let's go back here and where is it? Verbose, there. So we're doing this. So we're going to start, let's put that there. We don't really need to see much of that, do we? So let's do that like that. So we're going to start by using post, which when we use -- data, in curl, the HTTP method that's used by default is post. But let's be explicit, right? Minus X. Actually, what's the curl? What's the longhand version of man curl? I don't think I've got a man page of curl. Curl help. Let's have another thing here. Man curl. I've got man in here. Yes, I have. Minus X. Request dash request. Okay, there we go. Yes, request. There we go. So, because I quite like putting the long form in, post. Right, so what we're doing here, what are we doing? We're now going to send a post request, which from an HTTP perspective, that's what the verb is, right? This in a OData context translates into, let's make it even all in one line there, all in one line. There we go. From OData perspective, a post request translates into a create operation. We're supplying data in this new order file here, right there. And let's just create an order with one item. Okay. So Sunny says, post, create a new record, patch, update specific fields of record, put, update, override the record. Beautifully succinct. Let's try and see if we can see that in action. Okay, because I think it's important to not skip over that sort of thing. This is back to basics after all, right? So, I've just noticed, gaming station, I miss SAP GUI. So do I, in a way. I'll tell you what, I miss R2 and the GUI in R2, which of course there was no SAP GUI. It was anyway. So, we're sending the data in this file as the payload. We're sending a specific header in order to tell the CAP server, hey, the representation of the payload resource is JSON, and we're sending it to localhost 4004 OData over here, v4 bookshop orders. Okay, let's do that. Bang. Yeah. Oh, as we see here, curl says unnecessary use of -x or minus request. Post is already inferred from the fact we're using dash data. Okay, but we want to be explicit for our own purposes. So now we can go across to here and see, hopefully, there it is. There's our new order. Now, what we then did is we did a patch, didn't we? So why don't we say here, let's get rid of the comments, and let's say let's add another. See, this is why I don't like editing JSON. Let's add another position 2 with 2000, but we won't have this comment thing here. We won't include the comment property in the orders level, right? Let's just save that. Patch, right? But we don't need, oh yes we do, we still need to patch. We need to specify now, because patch and put relate to a specific entity, whereas post relates to an entity set. Imagine post as you're throwing something into a bucket. That bucket is the entity set. Whereas patch and put, you want to target a specific thing in that bucket, right? The bucket being the entity set, right? So where's our new order? There we go. There's 7B15. Let's copy that. Let's bring it into there, and let's go to the end and say there, right? Same thing. Let's see what happens. We get a 200 OK. Okay. And let's refresh. So we haven't changed or lost this comment. It's not gone to null. And now we've got the two items, 1000 and item 2, 2000. What happens if we want to do a put? Okay. Let's say we want to say, I want to completely replace comment Joy Division. And let's just have, I don't know, let's just position 2, 1 and 1 there. So let's do that. Okay. So let's now replace the whole thing. Request put, for example, here. There we go. And we also get a 200, and we've now replaced that. It's still the same ID with all the new data that we want. Okay. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Okay. It's 8:54. maybe we can get in, maybe we can get in this thing here. Cascaded delete. Yes, let's do that in 5 minutes. Let's do that in 5 minutes. Now, going back to being able to prove to ourselves that we can do, let's do it now first of all, right? Let's do it now. Let's delete, request, delete. Let's do verbose. We don't need to send an, delete. We don't need to send any data we don't need to send a payload for delete, nor do we need to send a header describing what's in the payload because there's no payload. So that's what we need now to delete, right? So what we're going to try and find out is when we delete the order, is that deletion cascaded to the order items? Now, logically, you would expect them. Logically, we would, and sort of philosophically, we would hope that that's what happens because it's a contained in relationship. Okay. But before we do that, let's go across to here and run that in profile. What's it called? Testing mode. Oh, in fact, first of all, CDS deploy. Let's deploy stuff. Do a deploy profile testing. In fact, even before that, look, we got this bookshop SQLite. I don't know what state it's in, so let's remove the bookshop SQLite, and then also say CDS deploy profile testing. So that should create a bookshop SQLite. There it is. And now, if we say CDS watch profile testing, it'll start to use, not in memory, but it'll start to use this bookshop.SQLite. So of course we've got to add that thing back again. Where is it? Post. Let's add it in there, and let's go across to here. Refresh. We're back with the Joy division, right? So we're going to delete that now. To be a etc. etc. Now, request delete verbose. Yes, let's have that. There, and then let's see. So we see what happens. 204, no content. 204, no. That's exactly what you want from a delete. Now let's go back to 3. Now, of course, we're looking at the orders here and only expanding on the items. So the whole order's gone from the orders entity set. And if we were to try and have a look at the order items, because, what's it called? Order items, because we haven't explicitly done a CDS auto expose. Remember, we took that out again because we don't really want it. We shouldn't really have it. We can't see. But now what we can do, of course, is SQLite bookshop.SQLite tables. Let's have a look at the what's in there. So if we now have a look at select star from org q macro order items, what are we expecting? We're only expecting to see, go back here, 1, 2, 3 order items rather than 3 plus however many were in that thing. 3 plus, I don't know. Yeah, those. And there they are. So they've been deleted. Remember the actual, let's get rid of that. Remember the actual GUID of the new order that we created. It was 2BA4, right? 2BA4. That's not in there as a parent of anything. So we've got a cascaded delete. I think that's enough to cover. We've covered auto exposure. We've covered cascaded delete. We've covered deep insert and update. I think we're okay. Suddenly it's all coming together. I've just noticed here. Oh my goodness me. Questions. Last 2. So Sunny says, I missed the waiting time of that web pro screen that took some time to just open the window. Okay, I can't remember that. But anyway, Zahid says, is it possible to deploy or host CAP OData service on a root server with Postgres? What do you mean by a root server? Zahid, what type of licenses are required in such case? Where to define information related to licenses? Oh my goodness me. So CAP at the moment is governed by the SAP developer license. So go and check out the SAP developer license. I think that originated for HANA Express. I'm not sure. But anyway, it's covered by the SAP developer license. I'm not a lawyer, and licenses is not something that I know much about or don't want to know anything about. I'm a developer, not a lawyer, but it is important to know what the license is, and it's SAP developer license. So Daniel, thank you, Daniel. I think the cover page of Capire points out really well what makes Cap special. Jumpstart and grow as you go. Start simple and fast. Focus on domain. Yes, exactly. So let's just remind ourselves. Capire. There we go. The home page of Capire. There. This is what differentiates Cap from any other framework, in my personal opinion. Jumpstart, grow as you go. Intrinsic cloud qualities. Enterprise best practices, and focus on domain. Cap is amazing, right? So. Daniel says, and intrinsic. Oh, yes. Okay. So Daniel said, well, just on the screen here, Nikhil plus Cap is open yet opinionated. Wait, exactly. Nikhil, you've got it. It is open, and that's what we want as developers. We want an opinionated framework, right? Convention over configuration. Otherwise, we're just inventing stuff every time from scratch by ourselves individually. We don't want that. So Visa says, if you want to update the quantity of a specific item, can we do that with this inline aspect of declaration? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. And we'll do inline. Thank you for the final link. We'll do inline declarations of aspects just as the start of the next week before we move on to the next topic, which I can't remember what it is. Anyway, it's 9 o'clock. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for staying with me on this compositions journey adventure. Have a great rest of Friday. Have a great weekend and see you next week, I think. Yes. Bye.